So our game for today is Intimate Infinite.
Oh boy.
This was pitched to me in an article as a game.
Right. It's a
Some people would question that assumption of whether or not this is a game. Now, the history of this is kind of interesting. This is apparently based off of a short story or multiple short stories.
Right. It's,
by Jorge Luis Borges.
Yes, exactly. It's The Garden of Forking Paths.
Oh.
Which I would be fascinated to read, and
I would be more interested to read that than I would be to play
absolutely.
this game.
I'm sure it's a lovely story, absolutely, but unfortunately, this game is crazy making.
Yes.
From the standpoint of someone who is impatient and a gamer, perhaps, you know.
It is... This is what would often derisively be called a walking simulator.
Well, okay, it's 3 sequences, essentially. You have
Yes.
it's a 3-part game.
You do things in each
Quote
part.
unquote. Yes, and each one is very different from the other. The first one is you're in Nazi Germany, World War II, and it's very, I will say this, if anyone's familiar with Dear Esther, it's very similar where you're, or like Amnesia, where you're getting this kind of like flashes of a overall story of these characters, I guess, you know.
And my thing is, I am not inherently opposed to, like, atmospheric games where you just kind of walk around and do nothing. Actually, on some of the older indie tech stuff, I actually read a few of those pretty positively.
Definitely.
I like there to be certain things, and the controls for this game are pretty much you hold the left mouse button. That's most of the controls. So, there's not really a lot of play here.
It's not even WASD. It's not even Dear Esther where you're walking through an environment. You're literally on rails.
You're seeing
as much
exactly
as
what the game wants you to see at all times and everything. You can barely look around.
Yeah, you can't even look around.
As a game, I don't really think it succeeds because I don't really want to play this. Like,
you're not playing anything.
And I mean, from a story level, I would rather just read the short story it's based off of.
Well, exactly, you know, and it's like, and that's the thing, it's like, it's going for this very moody, atmospheric vibe, which I will say, I appreciate artistry in gaming and aesthetics, and trying to do something more with storytelling. That is something I'm very positive on. But it doesn't always work. Sometimes it comes off as just kind of pretentious nonsense, you know, and that's the risk you have when, like, you know, cutting to, like, you finish one of the levels and then that's just like these weird like people's faces like spazzing out and like, you know, it's like flashes of some sort of, you know, like traumas happening. It doesn't make much sense, you know.
And I'm cool with surrealism and stuff.
Definitely.
I just wasn't feeling
it. Yeah, I love me some David Lynch, you know, it's not that, it's more just sort of, you can't, not all of that is equal, you know, surreal is not always gonna be great, you know. And it's not bad because it's surreal, it's bad because it's just... And I won't say bad, that's not fair. But
yeah, and it would be unfair to say... You don't want to be too harsh with a game like this, because I think for what it's doing, it's pretty good. I just don't really like what it's doing.
It's close. I think it's just, if it had some elements of gameplay. You know, the first sequence of World War II, you literally, you know, and you get shot at and stuff, but you're just holding a button. You're not interacting with that world, you know.
Even if the only gameplay in this game was the ability to free look at any time, I think that would dramatically improve.
Definitely, if you had a sense of control in even that little bit of, I mean, it is an exercise in sort of gameplay design and what you give a player, you know. I mean, and this game just gives you very, very little. The other 2 scenes, just to say quickly, there's the other sequence is you're playing chess, and it's, I mean,
I got to the chess sequence and I just took all of his pieces.
Right, and it's like an arbitrary. I mean, maybe there's something we met. Maybe
also
there's like
I drank the wine.
Yeah, I drank all the wine to finish. But I noticed that there were like, you know, sort of, you were looking down at this like chess thing, and maybe if you had like set up the board with those pieces exactly, maybe something would have happened.
Who knows?
Exactly, you know. I mean, but I didn't trust the game enough to like commit like that.
And it's one of those things where I was not really interested enough to try and find out.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly, 100%. Like it didn't give me the confidence that I was going to be rewarded.
So, as an experience...
Yes, okay. Down to brass tacks.
You have to play this again to record the gameplay footage for
I know,
this,
I didn't.
So we should not talk longer about this.
That was a bummer.
we... As an experience, this is okay. Like, it's kind of like, oh, that was a fun way to kill 10 minutes, kind of. Oh, that was weird and goofy.
Yes.
And it was artistic. And maybe in the right setting, I would like it more if I was in the right mood.
Yeah, maybe.
But as a game, I can't really recommend it because it's not really a game all that much.
Yeah, you know, between all these other games that we have that are super solid.
And now, I usually fall... Sorry to interrupt you. I usually fall pretty squarely on the side of anything is a game, and I don't want to call this not a game to insult it or to belittle what the creator has done or anything.
Yes.
This is a playable experience.
Exactly. Playable experience is a much more, you know, articulate way of putting it. And, you know, in that context of all of this and, like, judging off of what's worth your time and what's not, you know, I would have to say I would give this... I mean, I would say maybe a 3 out of 5 in the sense of, like, I appreciate what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
But I do not recommend it.
I would rate it as an asterisk out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, it's another category. That's the thing. It is another category. So, yeah, you know, I would say, you know, look out for, you know, the developers, you know, and what they're doing, but, I don't know. Yeah, can't particularly recommend this game.
Yeah, can't go full bore.
Exactly, but, you know, maybe they have a chance at some interesting stuff in the future.
Yes.